What's up, Terrifics? Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of CES 2016 on BeTerrific. I'm Michael Artis. We're live from the Las Vegas Convention Center, high atop Central Hall. It's amazing, at BeTerrific TV on all social media. Join our Slack chat by sending us an invite or sending us an email with your name and also that you want to join the Slack chat as well as your email address. We'll send you an invite. You can join us, the rest of the Terrifics, in 24-hour real-time conversation, and you can hear comments and read comments and make comments, like Digital Phil, who says that Andrea reminds him of Agent Carter.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You'll take it, right?
Oh, hell yeah, a badass with an accent.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I don't have the accent, but I'd like to.
Maybe our next guest does, we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Patrick Sullivan from Source3 is our next guest, and this is a gentleman I came to know several years ago. Really, really smart guy. He started a company called RightsFlow. It was purchased by Google, by YouTube actually, to deal with music rights management. And it's a very complicated industry.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
now he's doing a similar stuff in the 3D printing space. Brilliant, just a really smart guy doing really cool stuff. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here with such a great host.
It's good to have you. And it's good to see you. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Talk about Source3.
Sure. So Source3 is founded by a bunch of ex-Googlers who looked at what we did in the music industry and how we solved the pain and challenged the licensing with YouTube, and saw the opportunity of how people are creating content in the 3D industry. Virtual reality, what's going on here in a big way, 3D printing, which is also going on, and we recognize that there's going to be content similar to what you guys are doing, but there's going to be large-scale content creation, and you're going to need infrastructure, license, account, and pay, copyright owners and trademark owners around that content.
So actually, we need to talk. We're going to go to commercial. We need to work out our licensing now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to work out our deal.
Yeah,
no. We should talk about this. This is really interesting, and because people approach us about licensing our content for all over the world all the time, and I think that's interesting. And also, Andrea and I were talking about, you talk about 3D printing stuff and VR. We're doing a lot of 360 VR, but then you talk about 3D printing, and Andrea was like, why? We were talking at dinner last night. She's like, why would I really want a 3D printer? Where's the future of this?
Yeah.
And I said, well, look, let's say you lose the knob to your stove. Call Genair. And get a new knob. It's going to take you months. You're going to have to keep calling. It's not something they just sell in stores. What if you could just take your knob off your stove, scan it, print it out, and put a new knob on? Isn't that great? Or download the schematic, but who owns that schematic is the question.
And that's what I asked.
So it's a great question. So the reason why I got interested, I own the property in Westchester, and a window part broke, and the house was made in 1989.
Oh my gosh.
The part wasn't available. I searched, and I thought I was pretty smart, so I searched all over. I went to google.com and searched, nowhere to be found. Eventually I went and found a little manufacturer in Kansas that had one part, but I had to buy 10 parts to get that one part.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, why can't you just print it? So the opportunity why own a printer is going to be not only recreate, replace, but also innovate what YouTube did for creation and allowed you as a creator to take pre-existing copyright, pre-existing content and create new derivatives. You know, imagine you take this bracelet and you make it personalized, customized in a way that no one ever thought about. John Hardy gets new revenue, new income. That's just one of the cases. And also in the home improvement, there's houses in the 50s, you're never going to find a replacement part. You're going to either have to customize and make and replace that part. Why not print it?
What about cars? I mean, cars are restoring cars, perfect example.
Ford, all restored car, old car, pianos, anything and everything that's been created. It's more simplified to replacement parts today, but the world, if you go over to the Sands, they're building 3D printed motorcycles, they're building replacement prosthetics, they're printing food. The world is endless. As long as you said is there's a schematic and design, you can print it. And that's what makes it really interesting.
You know what I love? You're a serial entrepreneur, and I love that you've given our viewers, the Terrifics, some insight into how entrepreneurism works and how the mind of a serial entrepreneur works. And I like it. How do you when you come up with an idea, I mean, I'm sure you come up with a ton of ideas a day. How do you go, all right, this is the one that I'm going to actually take and make my next project?
It's a great question, and there's a lot of ideas. I got great ideas. We can go to the moon and back in a minute. That was a great idea. We'll all do it together. We'll travel together and go up there.
I love it.
But it's a great idea, but the key is execution. And you know, the real key to execution is building a team of people, building a process around the people, and building a technology to enable the process and the people to execute. And that's the key fundamentals to being an entrepreneur. And if you have a framework, and I've been fortunate to have a blueprint for doing that before, and now we're doing it again, but that's the key to executing an idea.
I think that's the hardest part though, is finding that team, finding these people that not only that you trust, but kind of get the idea to begin with. Isn't that one of the
That's
toughest
the
parts?
hardest.
Yeah.
It all begins with team. Without the team, you have no process, you have no technology.
Well, and there are so many young entrepreneurs who come to CES who are at the Sands Expo with their products, and people want to hear advice like this, and especially our viewers, right? They have ideas, they want to figure out how to start a company, so it's great advice and I love it. I hear so many times that one of the things is also that you have to prove to potential investors, potential buyers, that it's not you, it is the team, and that it's a formula, not one person. So if you get eliminated from the situation, whether it's through acquisition or being fired or unfortunately sickness, death, whatever, that the company can still thrive without you. That it's not you making the magic, that it's a formula that other people could replicate.
The key is surround yourself with people smarter than you and make yourself expendable. If you're the only person who could do the job, you should be replaceable.
All right, so that's why Andrea's here. I'll see you guys later.
Exactly. We'll do just fine.
What was it like selling a company to Google? Because I imagine when you start that conversation, you get like all excited but jittery, and then you're like, wait, but this might not happen.
Yeah. Unimaginable. First of all, getting acquired by Google was something I never could fathom in a million years. The way they treated us, the special, but knowing that there was a process, and going through that process, we treated it like a litigation. We were very prepared for the questions and answers through a diligence, which is probably one of the most challenging things in the world, to go through diligence of an acquisition with a company like Google. They had 52 people working on the acquisition, representing them on an acquisition team, so it's a big process, but
that alone is intimidating. Because you're like, 52 people,
52
we're just
lawyers.
I would think you'd be worried on some level that your lawyer would miss something that their lawyers put in, and you'd be totally screwed. You get like $0 at the end, they own the whole thing.
The key was, I wasn't involved in the process. They got rid of me, so it went really smooth, but I had smart attorneys, smart corporate development people.
People smarter than you? I like that. I always say it's got to be a great team, and you got to put a great team together. And I think that, of course, let the professionals handle that. Did you get a royalty in there since you were rights flow?
Yeah. Well, we got a royalty before, but once you got acquired, Google likes to buy out companies, and they don't want any royalties or residual.
Rights flow was a great idea. How'd you come up with rights flow?
It was very simple. We knew that there was a pain to licensing music for music services like Clear Channel, Rhapsody, Google, YouTube, our clients, and we want to solve that pain at scale, and what we did was simplify it. And so that's where it came from. We said, if I can talk to you as a copyright owner, I can enable you to license many, many one-to-one relationships at scale, and we eventually started licensing 35 million different types of sound recordings.
Wow. Very awesome. Talk about Source3. How do people get involved? So how would somebody like us get our content licensed or work with you? And then how do the people who want to license content, whether it be I want to print this out on my 3D printer, or I want this to be here at an exposition on my Oculus for everybody to view, or I want this to be in my movie theater, I don't know.
So two aspects of what we're doing. One is enabling creators, that's like YouTube creators, people that are making videos and taking music and content. We're enabling people to take designs, trademarks, and copyrights and put them into a design file that can be printed or displayed in virtual reality. And we have a system, and we built that, and we're showcasing over the Sands, that enables that to be then distributed to marketplaces such as Amazon, Shapeways, the leading marketplaces. Those marketplaces then sell to consumers like Amazon does today. For people that are looking at shows, we're building infrastructure around places to license content at scale. For shows like this, we'd have to license through CES or enable that, but we're building that infrastructure to enable large-scale licensing for the individual creator, to the individual user of that content, to the endless enterprise rights management access points.
So we just go to source3.com?
You go, it's more focused on businesses today, because we're a back end like RightsFlow was, to enable marketplaces. So you'd have to go to Amazon, you go to these leading marketplaces. We're not consumer product selling businesses. We're enabling consumer product businesses to sell by licensed content.
See, he's...
Always, I mean, I just, sitting next to him, you're like, oh, okay, and then he just starts talking, you're like, whoa. You're always thinking, huh?
Well, the brain doesn't show.
Yeah.
What do you think of CES?
I love CES. I've been going here for many years, and part of me being here a year ago, 2 years ago, was seeing the innovation around 3D. Seeing Sirius Radio years ago, being a user, but I love CES. I think it's a vibrant, great place, meeting great people, and it gets your brain thinking about what's next.
Oh yeah. Being someone who's been here before, how do you feel? How can you manage this type of place?
Well, I've been with a big company, a little company, a big company. Now I'm back with a little company, and it's a lot of fun. So, but you know what? One of the best things we did this year was we got a booth. We put a little stake in the sand. in the sands.
Yeah, there you go.
And people coming to us, which has been fantastic for us. And so we have a lot of flow of traffic and great partners like you guys.
Thank you very much. Isn't the Sands a wonderful environment because of Eureka Park and the fact that it's really about innovation, and it's probably the most fun part of CES?
It's exciting. It's like you walk around, every booth there has something.
Yep.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Pretty.
Yes.
The
Yes.
BeTerrific is amazing.
Thank you.
Being here is beautiful, but being there, it makes you think about what's going to happen next.
Right, it's really like looking into the future, because here, this is current,
Yeah.
and the booths are amazing, they're magical, and they're huge, and they're spectacular. But being at the Sands is literally looking into the future. Some of the things are 18 months away,
Yeah.
some of them are 5 years away, and some of them are coming to market, but
Yeah.
they're not coming to mass market, right? And so it's really nice to be able to see that. Do you walk around and say, oh, I should have thought of that, or oh, I could partner with those guys?
Yeah, I love, I look at ideas and I think it's the great, like again, I look at great ideas, I know I can't execute that idea.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty confident most of the time, like I'm not that guy. And so I enjoy what I do, but the greatest thing is seeing the ideas, seeing the growth and seeing people go up. You know, my friend started YouTube years ago, and she walked in my office and she goes, I just quit my job, I'm going to YouTube. I went, you-hoo? You never know. And you know what? That's a very successful entrepreneur as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. We saw, it's a simple product yesterday that blew my mind. It was like, why didn't I think of that? Because we use the product all the time. So we use GoPros, you've probably used GoPros.
Yeah.
The guy came with a battery pack. What's the biggest thing with the GoPro? The battery lasts 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Came with a battery pack that clips into the GoPro plastic case, folds over, close it. It's now a little bit thicker GoPro, but it's a GoPro, completely sealed, 24-hour battery life.
It's amazing.
For $100.
Yeah.
He's going to sell that like people sell pancakes at diners.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? Patrick, thank you so much for
Some
coming
of the
on.
best ideas are the simplest ideas.
I know.
Absolutely.
That's the key to
Amazing.
life.
Where are your headquarters for Source3?
New York, Manhattan.
Nice. Well, I want to come by.
Come by. We
I
look forward to see you guys.
I remember the Rice Flow office as well.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a really special treat. Thanks for imparting some of your wonderful entrepreneurial knowledge on our viewers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very
Thank you,
important.
guys. Thank you.